Good morning. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Welcome to Johnny's Bite. And I'd like to say that I'm happy my colleague Parkwisi Simpson of Connect FM has been granted bail, 2 sureties to be justified, 50K as well. And I'm happy. Congratulations to the management of Media General ESCO and also to the court for making this possible. We're happy, and the hashtag is on. Journalism is not a crime. I don't want to get into the details of the matter because it's before a court of proper jurisdiction or competent jurisdiction. So we'll talk about it later. But today I want to talk about national service. And there's a wild cry, in fact, a sharp one, within the ranks of national service personnel who are asking for their stipends, or if you like, their Alawa, to be increased because of the present economic situations. And we will dovetail into that shortly. But you know that national service is mandatory. It's mandatory because sometime in the 70s when we had a lot of brain drain because we had Apollo 567 or 587 and people, couldn't find jobs there. They had to migrate. It took 3 universities at the time, University of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and the UCC to make appeal to government that they want to contribute effectively to the socio-economic development of the country. And indeed, that was granted, was put into law. The law has been shaped over time. We do know also that the last time the national service personnel had an increment in their stipends from 350 Ghana cedis to 559 cedis was in 2017. This was a decision that had been taken in 2016 and dovetailed into 2017. Mixed public reactions asking why a government that was exiting had to now increase national service stipends or allowances, blah, blah, blah. Some others also said, well, we're told that we're going to get better economic conditions. So if it's 559, the current situation has changed in terms of economic nuances, then it is important that we get it changed. Now, since that time, up until now, the national service guys have not seen any increment in the allowances, which is a very, very worrying trend, because if you put 559 Ghana cedis under the microscope of the present economic hardship that's been complained about by everybody. Yesterday we did Kinkonomics. Everybody is complaining about it. And I say, except those who have some who are enjoying, they are the ones not complaining. But if you put 559 Ghana cedis under that microscope, you will find that enkoye crab. Now, enkoye, because you would have expected that the people who are in power now, another Kufuado, who yesterday we played a video for you, talk about the economic freedom for his people, spoke about the fact that we're going to reduce prices on all fronts, fuel, kinky prices, and everything else, is in power. His vice president, who had cause to complain and even complain about the excess taxes that we have, and he says that, well, when you are not running government properly, you would be reduced to borrowing, and that we're going to have a situation where we would go towards production and not taxation. We heard that too. We had a finance minister, and at some point 7 years ago, we saw the finance minister on a demonstration with other middle-class Ghanaians. They called it Occupy Flagstaff House. You remember that one? And most of those people who went on that demonstration today are in key positions, very influential positions in government. If you watch that video, we don't have a lot of time. So if you watch that video, you would see them. Most of those people who defied the rain, walked through it, defied the police, because at the time I remember the police were trying to face off with them, blocking them around the National Theatre and not allowing them to come through. Most of them are in government today. So you'd have expected that for Mr. Kenoforiata, for example, who would have to receive, if there is any proposal at all, from the National Service Secretariat, the National Service Association and all of that, to see an upgrade of the allowances of national service personnel, would have averted his mind to what's happening now in terms of our economic situation, because obviously as the chief spender of government, he cannot be living oblivious of what's happening. But that's not the point. The point today is a little mathematics that I want us to work at. So let's assume that I'm a national service personnel. Okay, let's assume that I'm a national service personnel and I have the duty, the mandate. Once I had attended university in this country, I'm obliged to attend to the nation in terms of national service. Okay, now how much do I earn? As a national service person, I earned 559 Ghana cedis. That's what we're working with. Is that correct? Okay. Now 559 Ghana cedis. Let's do a little mathematics. Let's assume that I spend 2 cedis, 50 pesos every day from my house to my national service posting. Then I spend another 2 cedis, 50 pesos on my way back home. That gives us what? 5 Ghana cedis. Please calculate along with me. So if I'm wrong, you can tell me. My math is faulty, but so I'll try. Now, when you go to work as a national service person, you're also a Ghanaian. You're a human being like everybody else. You eat, okay? Now, part of the things that you eat, let's assume that on this occasion as a national service person, you decide to have cocoa 1 cedi. Okay? Cocoa made from maize, which is now more expensive, which is why cocoa has moved from 50 and 70 pesos to 1 cedi. So you have cocoa 1 cedi. Then you can also decide that you're going to have kose. Okay, kose like 2 cedis, if you like. Yes, 2 cedis, maybe 4 pieces of kose. You're going to have that. Plus, you want to have some milk and some granules in it. So all of that will also come to what? 2 cedis. Okay. So now you calculate that 1 cedi plus 2 cedis plus 2 cedis. That's another 5 cedis gone. Okay, that's for breakfast. Great. So that's 10 cedis already gone. Now let's do lunch. Lunch, you decide to have wache, maybe 3 cedis. Or you decide to have kinky. A ball now is 2 cedis, 3 cedis. If you are like Ima, you would want to eat to your fill. So you want to have 3 cedis of a kinky. Plus, you want to buy 3 cedis of fish because you want to be very, very modest. Okay? If you are buying wache, if you buy 3 cedis of wache, you buy 3 cedis of fish, you'd want to add gari and macaroni toppings. That's like 1 cedi. So to be very modest, you are not buying egg, you're not buying wele. If you had all those cravings and you had that it is for that back at home, forget about it if you're a national service person. So 3 plus 3 plus 1 is what? 7 Ghana cedis. Okay? That is 17 cedis already for the day. You have not ended the day. For lunch. Then at supper, you are living alone, national service person, on your own. You have just gone to get an accommodation somewhere. You're from Accra. You've gone to some place in Sefiri also. So in the evening, you go and find your favorite Indomie or noodle joint, or you find your bread and egg person. I'm told that these days, the Indomie has moved from 5 cedis, is now selling at 7 cedis per pack. Okay, so you buy one. Once you buy one, that is also what? 7 Ghana cedis. This is for national service. So you add 5 cedis plus 5 cedis, that's 10. 7 plus 7 is 14. That's already what? 24 cedis. Is that correct? 24 cedis, that's what you have spent on food. But we have been told to also drink water. So for every meal that you have, you drink maybe 1 sachet of water, which now sells at 20 pesos. Okay? Now, 20 pesos, if you are drinking 1 for morning, 1 for afternoon, 1 for evening, obviously we'll be told to drink about 8 glasses of water. So you're buying maybe 5. So let's multiply that by 5. And that gives you how much? 1 cedi, okay? Add 1 cedi to this, that's 25 cedis on a daily basis if you're a national service person, okay? Is the mass okay? 25 cedis on a daily basis. Now, we're done with that. So let's save 25 cedis here, which is your daily spend as a national service person. Now, 25 cedis, okay, sorry, I'm thinking in big cash. So 25 cedis, okay? Times, how many times do they work? How many days do they work in a day? In the 5 days a week times 4 weeks. So that's 20 days. Is that correct? Now, 20 days. If my math is good, follow me. 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 0 is another 0. 0 times 5 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. Is that correct? Now, 0 times 2 is 0. 0 times 5, 2 times 5 is what? 10. 0, then you save the 1, and then you come up here. 2 times 2 is what? 4. Plus 1, that's 5, okay? Then if you calculate, that's 1, then you do the decimal point. That's 50 cedis. Okay, that's 50 cedis. Is that correct? That's 500. That's 500 Ghana. Sorry, that's 500 Ghana. Forgive me. That's 500 Ghana cedis. I should have added 1 0 here before this one. That's 500 Ghana cedis. So earlier we had 25 cedis per day times 20 days, and then that will give us what? 500 Ghana cedis. Now, 500 Ghana cedis is for food, okay, transport, and water. These are the 3 elements. But that's not all the national service people do. The national service people also spend money on utilities. Okay? So let's assume that they live in a compound house. that they rented for themselves. We come to rent. They live in a compound house that they rented for themselves. This compound house that they rented for themselves will be charging them, maybe say 10 Ghana cedis or 20 Ghana cedis every single day for water, or every single week for a month for water. Okay, so now if they pay 20 Ghana cedis plus the 500 that we had, that is what? 520 cedis out of 559. Ebeka, 39 cedis, correct? Okay, now you're left with 39 cedis. Let's assume now that this individual is not living in his mother or his father's home. He doesn't know any uncle around the place, so he has to go and rent. Let's be very modest and say that for every month they are paying 50 Ghana cedis. So we have what? 520, right? Now the balance that's left is what? 39 cedis, correct? If they have to pay 50 Ghana cedis rent every single month, they already have a deficit here. They have not been able to save anything, but they would have to be magicians enough to survive. So, Mr. Ken Oforiatta, for example, cannot be oblivious of the fact that the National Service guys are suffering. Now, like he said at the trade fair, everybody is suffering. And this morning, the National Service guys are suffering. What are the rules and regulations of the National Service Scheme itself? It says the service personnel may seek assistance from user agencies, local authorities, including community leaders, and National Service Scheme officers in obtaining modest accommodation. Service personnel who serve as housemasters or housemistresses in addition to their duties as teachers in educational institutions shall be entitled to free education. So let's say that you come from Mankasim, and you come to Accra, you are teaching, say, at Accra High School, that's a day school, or Hotcast, or maybe a Raleigh Secondary School. They don't have accommodation, naturally. So if you are not a housemaster or a housemistress, you are not getting free accommodation. Now, we do know the accommodation situation in Accra, don't we know? If you have had to fight with all the people, and all you have to spend is 559 Ghana cedis, how does the government expect you to survive, to have the peace of mind, to deal with the real issues that you're supposed to be dealing with? Now, as if that's not enough, there is also the question of the pure water. This is the pure water I spoke about. This one sells one at 20 pesos. This is the water I spoke about, that you would have to spend up to 7 cedis if you want to be very modest to get. This is another water, but this one is on a high level, because if you're buying one egg, that will cost you like 1 cedi 20 pesos or 1 cedi 50 pesos. You are buying wele, you are buying fish, but then you are living actually with beyond your means, because this one will cost you no less than 12, 15 cedis to get this one. If you add delivery, we will crab. Now, this is also another watch that's there. Now, consider the trotro. I was very modest in my analysis of the trotro because 2 cedi 50 pesos. For example, if you are coming from what do you call it? That Gimpa area, you're coming towards the Gimpa area, coming all the way to Legon, you pay like 2 cedis 50 pesos. When you come and alight at Legon and you're coming to, say, for example, TV3 or Ministries, there's another spend that you would have to add. So I was even being very, very modest with my 2 cedis 50 pesos. Now, in the matter of trotro, sometimes you sit in the trotro, you get so thirsty, you want to drink water. That's another spend. My argument this morning is to the President of the Republic, to suggest to the President that the young people who queued to vote for you as national service personnel, given the present economic situation, and given also the fact that the minimum wage had been increased, and given the fact that mainline workers have gotten some cushioning, they need the monies to be able to deal with the question of national service. Because, you know, there's also the rule that if you don't attend to your national service postings and you don't go to work, after 3 months, you forfeit it, and then sanctions may be dealt on you. Now, imagine that the national service says that the allowances have never delayed. I want to take you back to 2019, okay? 2019, the man who was in charge of national service, MP now for Yagba Kubore, he had previously won that seat, became national service boss, lost it and won that seat again, is now our sports minister. Take a listen to him addressing a press conference when challenges of delays in the payment of national service allowance had been raised. Take a listen.
Sometimes, and there's no any man that we have since for the past 3 years where we have service personnel complaining of delay of payment. It has never happened. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying maybe you are speaking from history history. 19 Kojohoho. Yes, the mountain. So let me assure you that national service is dear to His Excellency, the President of the Republic, because they know the contribution service personnel make to this economy and this country. And the President will not sit aloof and allow service personnel to go through stress without being paid their stipends. And we will always pay the stipends promptly. We only pay those who also will do the service. So we ensure value for money. We will not just pay just because you've been deployed. You have to report to post and work and be paid for the work done. We can only pay you for work done. We won't pay you just because you are a national service person. There is no any plans of increment in service personnel allowance. But as and when the need arises, we will surely communicate that to the media. But currently, there is no any plans. And I think 559, the service personnel are so happy with it.
So this is the MP for Yagba Kugbori. He was the man in charge of the National Service. He's no longer there. He's at the Sports Ministry, Youth and Sports Ministry. But on that occasion, 2 years ago, he said the service personnel are happy. I'm not a service personnel, so I wouldn't know whether they are happy or not. But I can report to you now that they are not altogether excited about it. And I wish that Mr. Osesibe Ntwi, who's the former mayor of the KMA, would do something really about it and make that proposal. Mr. President, respectfully, I'm holding your left leg and asking you how you would have survived if you were a young person at this time spending 559 cedis. And you see the calculation I didn't even add Saturday and Sunday, because Saturday and Sunday you're at home. They will wash, they may cook, they will go to church. If they are Christians, they would have to deduct their tithe from it. Let's say approximately six cedis from 559. So accommodation has not come. I didn't do accommodation. I didn't do tithe. I didn't do Saturday, Sunday. I didn't do offering transport to and from church if they want to go and all of that. You look at the present economic situation and you ask yourself, even if somebody dedicated their life to just eating gobe every single day of their lives, which will be like 3 cedis gobe, 2 cedis tatale. I hear tatale now is there's 1 cedi or 50 pesos for 1 tatale. So 50, okay, so this may look a bit exaggerated. But if the person decides that, okay, this is all I want to eat, even throughout my national service, I'm asking, what kind of patriotism can we demand from them? So this is my passionate appeal on behalf of all national service personnel, more than 81,000 of them. And I'm not suggesting that all the 81,000 who were posted are in this situation. But you can confirm that a wide majority of national service personnel face this, especially when they are not afforded accommodation, especially when they would have to go for their own set of transportation, especially when they have to buy their own food, they have to buy their own water, they have to take care of their own soap, their own utilities, their own everything else. 559 Ghana cedis in this present location and present situation is not good. Because you know what? Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta organized a Kenke party some time ago. If Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta wants to organize that same Kenke party that he organized some time ago in celebration of whatever, he would have to pay some more. So my bites this morning, on behalf of all national service personnel, as we have done the mathematics for you this morning, is that 559 Ghana cedis, it is not been vetted and approved by the FDA, and we plead that something be done immediately about it. Because you know what? If people are not getting the requisite amount of money that can take them to and fro their national service postings, the next point is that some may stay at home, because we know what the challenges of assessment are. Some may stay at home, be collecting the money and not be going anywhere. We will be the eventual losers. If people take their monies and support themselves, they will go to work grudgingly. Maybe tomorrow we'll talk about how national service personnel in some key offices in this country, especially the state-owned ones, have been reduced to buying wache and yokagari and banku and all those ones. We can talk about those ones. We can also talk about what Mr. Dominic Titubo said at the vetting table, that will have some military training for national service personnel. And I believe that perhaps could have helped in identifying who could have done military service instead of asking people to queue. And guess what? Finally, it is part of the National Service Secretariat's own rules and regulations. It's there that there shall be military training at appropriate military establishment. Any information regarding the period, selection, procedures, etc. shall be made known to the personnel at the appropriate time. Paper leadership, audio leadership, I don't know. But think about it. What has changed? Good morning.